June the 1st, 2023. Welcome to the official start of hurricane season, guys, for this year. Now, last night I noticed this system starting to stall out in the Gulf of Mexico. They had taken the tracking that was across the Florida Peninsula out into the Atlantic. They had taken that back and just set it in the Gulf. That went from a 10% chance to this morning a 50% chance of development. So we're going to have to pay close attention to this, guys. Let's take a look at the information. But you can see that it's very tightly wound in that center. Now, this is what they're saying, 50% chance of development over the next 7 days. It's the same thing over on the 2-day forecast. It says now it's northeastern Gulf of Mexico as of 8 a.m. this morning Eastern. Showers and thunderstorms associated with an area of low pressure over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico have increased and become better organized during the overnight hours. Environmental conditions appear marginally favorable for additional development over the next day or so, and a short-lived tropical depression or storm could form over that time span as the system meanders over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. Let me say this. Yesterday afternoon, guys, I almost did a video when it was starting to stall, but it did not look like a natural stall. Let me just say that. I'm not, let me back up. Every video, I don't say that I think there's some manipulation. Mother Nature has its own power. The shields are weak. The magnetic north is drifting, so that's going to change the weather. I understand that. But some of this just seems a little bit different. Either it's so screwed up because of the weather patterns, or we are definitely seeing some guidance in these storms. It says, however, by this weekend, environmental conditions are forecast to become unfavorable for additional development as the storm drifts southward, likely remaining offshore over the Gulf of Mexico. An Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft is scheduled to investigate the system later today if necessary. Now, there was word that they did send out a mission yesterday late. I'm not 100% positive. I did hear someone mention that. It says, regardless of development, locally heavy rainfall could occur over portions of the Florida Peninsula through the weekend. Additional information on the rainfall and flooding potential could be found in products issued by your local National Weather Service Forecast Office and the excessive rainfall outlooks issued by the Weather Prediction Center. Again, 50% chance, 48 hours, the same thing over the 7-day forecast. Now, this is our first spaghetti models of the year. This is updated just 30 minutes ago. You've got the center storm located here. One of your models are showing it going across through Tampa. The other models are showing it move right around the Gulf. Now, the CMC right here has it looping around and stopping right there. You notice that? That's one of our top models. The Navy model is the purple line right here, and it shows it coming down into northern Cuba. This is going to change over the next few days. We understand that. But it does not look like from these models it's going to move north and into the Florida Peninsula or Alabama and Mississippi yet. So we can't take our eyes off the storm, especially Florida. Some of the models have it going down, tipping across the Yucatan. Notice that. And then that's the TABS model. Then looping back up through Cuba and headed towards Florida. A couple of these are all looping back, staying out there. You've got the TABD model. You've got the AVNO model, the green one, and again, the white model. So we're not sure. They're not sure yet, guys. It's preliminary. We're seeing some unusual steering of the storm. Now, if we look at the wide Atlantic, you can see coming off of Africa, we're starting to see some storms. Now, whether or not these will make it all the way across into the Caribbean, we don't know yet. But we are starting to see this process that we see every summer, these storms coming off the coast of Africa, coming under or south of the Lesser Antilles, and moving towards the west. Again, we've got a couple systems here. This one we may need to keep an eye on. What we're dealing with is the same thing we see every year. The storms start marching from the right to the left or to the west, and your upper level wind shear tries to tear the top off the storms. Now, what happens is as we get into the season, that wind shear starts to either dissipate or turn back to the left, and then that helps the storms move and strengthens the system. Notice in the Gulf of Mexico, right there is where this is setting, expected to move south, loop around, more than likely come back somewhere around southern Florida and out into the Atlantic. But we're going to have to keep an eye on it. If it moves far enough south, it will get caught in up into this upper level shear here and be pushed out. But guys, just a quick heads up on that. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.